The quiet arrival. The massive space station shimmered in orbit above a red-blue planet. This was Starcore Academy, the most elite school in the galaxy. Children of CEOs, fleet commanders, and alien royalty trained here to lead the future. That morning, a small shuttle docked at Bay 9. A girl stepped out. She was black, maybe 16, with dark braided hair tied neatly behind her. She wore no flashy tech or family crest, just a plain gray jumpsuit and a small data pad. Her name was Nova. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. Students walked past her, laughing in polished uniforms with glowing badges. Some paused, looked her over, and whispered, "Who let Earth trash in here? She looks like a service bot snuck into class." Nova kept walking. At the orientation chamber, a hologram of the headmaster floated above the podium, welcoming new students. Nova stood at the back, quiet, hands behind her back. That's when they noticed her, Zane and Elara, two of the most feared and popular students. Zane was the son of a planetary general. Elara's mother ran half the AI ships in Sector 5. Zane smirked. "Hey, janitor girl, lost?" Nova looked at him calmly. "No." Elara leaned in, sneering. "Are you even supposed to be here? You don't have a rank badge." Nova tilted her head. "You noticed." Other students giggled. A few watched in silence, unsure. "I think she's a charity case," someone muttered. "No way," another said. "Starcore doesn't take charity." Zane stepped closer, trying to intimidate her. "Look, we don't need low-class glitches messing up our scores. Why don't you go back to Earth?" Nova blinked slowly. "Why don't you try minding your own stats?" There was a moment of silence. Some students laughed. Zane didn't. "You've got a mouth," he said, annoyed. Nova looked him in the eyes and replied calmly, "I've also got perfect test scores in tactical systems and hand-to-hand." That surprised him. A few whispers went around the room. But Elara rolled her eyes. "Fake stats. Anyone can forge those." Nova didn't respond. She simply tapped her datapad and sent a small signal. From the corner of the room, a teacher watched quietly, a senior commander, his gaze locked onto Nova's face for a moment. Then, the bell rang. "Orientation complete," said the hologram. "Proceed to your units for physical training." Zane smirked again. "Great, let's see what your fake skills are worth." In the training dome, students were grouped in teams. Nova was placed with Zane and Elara, by chance or by design. No one knew. The task was simple. Take control of a simulated enemy drone tower within 10 minutes. Most students scrambled to strategize. Zane shouted orders. Elara activated her drone scanners. Nova remained silent, scanning the map. "You don't get to lead," Zane barked at her. "Just stay behind, and don't mess things up." Nova nodded once. "Sure." As the countdown started, the simulation launched full combat conditions. Lasers, drones, EMP traps. The field turned chaotic. Zane charged forward. Elara followed. Nova went the other way. Zane shouted at her through comms. "What are you doing? You're off course." But Nova didn't respond. She climbed a ledge, used an ancient tactical trick to disable 2 enemy drones with her bare hands, and hacked the tower directly. Within 4 minutes, the simulation ended. Mission complete. Zane and Elara stood frozen, confused. The teacher walked in. "Who authorized the override hack?" Nova raised her hand. "I did, sir." "How?" "I studied the system blueprints. They were flawed." The teacher smiled slightly. "What's your name?" "Nova." The room went quiet. The teacher turned to the others. "She scored higher than any of you in entrance exams, including strategy, ethics, and command." Zane's face turned red. Elara looked furious. But Nova simply nodded, still calm. She walked past them and whispered to Zane, "Your arrogance is a weakness. You might want to upgrade." The test begins. The next day at Starcore Academy started with a surprise announcement. All new cadets must report to Combat Hall A for evaluation drills. Nova walked calmly through the shining corridors, datapad in hand. Students still stared at her, some with curiosity, others with quiet mockery. Zane and Elira walked ahead of her, whispering and laughing. She probably cheated, Elira hissed. Zane replied, let's crush her during drills. Let's make her quit. Inside Combat Hall A, the air buzzed with electric shields and floating drones. The instructors stood at the edge of the arena watching. Today, the lead instructor said, you'll be tested in simulated combat. Random matchups. No teams. No mercy. First one to disable the other's drone wins. If your drone goes down, you're out. A large screen flashed names. First match. Nova versus Bryn Talek. The room hushed. Bryn was a huge alien boy from a high-gravity planet. Strong. Fast. Known for crushing drone simulations. He stepped onto the field, flexing his shoulders. Nova walked in slowly. Some students laughed. She's going to get deleted, one said. A countdown flashed. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Bryn's drone launched straight at Nova's, firing stun beams. His fingers danced on his control glove. Nova didn't flinch. Instead, she closed her eyes for half a second, and her drone suddenly dropped down, vanishing behind a holographic boulder. Bryn blinked. Where did it go? From behind, Nova's drone reappeared, zipped forward, and hit Bryn's power node with a precise stun dart. Matey-Chovl. YNNER. NOVA. The crowd gasped. Bryn stood in shock. How? Nova just walked off the field, calm and silent. Zane's eyes narrowed. Elira scowled. She's lucky. That's all, Zane said. More matches continued. One by one, Nova took on students from across the academy and kept winning. She never showed off. She never smiled. But she never lost. Later that evening, Zane stormed into the simulation room. Elira followed him, annoyed. This is getting out of hand. Who is she really? Zane muttered. Elira checked her wrist scanner. There's no full record. Her file says restricted by galactic order. That's weird. Zane frowned. No one gets restricted files unless they're government class or above. At that moment, the lights flickered. Nova walked into the room. Zane crossed his arms. You following us now? No, Nova said calmly. Just training. Like you should be. Elira stepped forward. You think you're better than everyone. Nova looked her in the eye. I don't need to think it. Zane's fists clenched. You think one good day makes you powerful. You're just a glitch from Earth. Nova paused. Her face remained calm. But this time, she responded quietly. And yet, even from Earth, I can run circles around both of you. Prove it, Zane snapped. Nova smiled slightly. You'll get your chance. She walked past them and tapped her datapad. Behind her, a drone floated from her bag. Not a normal one. This one had a military signature. Zane and Elira stared. That's a classified drone. Elira gasped. Nova said nothing. She tapped a command, and the drone shut itself off and returned. The secret file. The next morning, Nova arrived early at the Starcore Academy Tech Lab. Other students were still asleep, but Nova's mind was wide awake. She moved quietly through the sleek glass halls, her boots making soft taps on the polished floors. Inside the lab, she typed fast on a hidden console. A screen lit up. ACCSSING. STAFCOR. ACQRT EVEL7. NPUTCOD. Asterisk 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 XCTD OPNing FILE PROGE seat AORION. Nova's eyes scanned the glowing holograms. Lines of code. Names. Ship designs. Galactic maps. Secret missions. Everything connected to Starcore's most powerful experiments. She paused at one file. Zane VELOS. CLELEDFOR AEL4 ACCS only. She raised an eyebrow. Interesting, she whispered. Suddenly, the door hissed open. Zane stepped in, holding a coffee mug, surprised. What are you doing here? Nova didn't panic. She quickly minimized the screen and turned, just checking on my simulation results. Zane narrowed his eyes. You don't seem like a beginner anymore. Nova tilted her head. You don't seem like a leader either. He scowled. You talk big for someone who doesn't belong here. She smiled gently. You're right. I don't belong here. I belong higher. Before Zane could reply, a sharp alarm rang out. EMEAGNC drill. All us TUDENTs to Hangar 3. Nova walked past him. Time to see who actually belongs. Hangar 3. The giant hangar roared with sound. Rows of ships sat ready. Instructors stood tall, watching cadets line up. Today's surprise test, one officer announced, is team-based flight combat. Each team will control a patrol ship and defend their space quadrant. Fail, and you're out. Teams were announced by random draw. Nova heard her name, and beside it, Zane, Elara, Nova, and Bryn. The crowd chuckled. This is going to be fun, someone whispered. Nova stepped into the ship's cockpit, calmly taking the second pilot seat. Zane groaned. She better stay out of the way. Elara rolled her eyes. She'll freeze first asteroid we hit. Bryn smirked. Let's just win and move on. In the simulation zone, the ship launched into a virtual galaxy. Asteroids flew. Enemy drones swarmed in red light. Defensive pattern B, Zane shouted. Elara triggered shields. Bryn took weapons. Nova, silent, typed fast on her screen. What are you doing? Zane barked. Nova replied, rerouting power from left thruster. Your plan's too slow. What? You don't give orders. Before he could finish, an enemy drone almost crashed into them. Nova fired back instantly. The drone exploded. The ship turned faster. She just saved us, Bryn muttered. Nova took over navigation without asking. She led them through asteroid tunnels, tricking enemy drones to crash into walls, calculating moves faster than the system could keep up. The timer hit 0. Mission UCCS. Fastest Kia time. TAN 7. Zane sat in silence. Elara's jaw was tight. Nova looked straight ahead and said softly, I didn't come here to play nice. I came here to finish what others couldn't. Later that night, Zane stormed back to the admin center. This girl, Nova, she's not who she says she is. I want her record pulled now. But the AI interface responded coldly. Access denied. Record classified under Galactic Council Level Omega. Zane's eyes widened. Omega level. That was above even the instructors. Only galactic leaders had Omega clearance. What the hell is she? Back in her dorm, Nova sat on her bunk, staring at a small crystal chip she pulled from her boot. It glowed with soft blue light. A voice echoed through the room, her hidden AI companion. Zane is trying to break into your file. Shall I lock it down? Nova replied calmly, let him try. He's not ready for the truth anyway. The AI asked, and the project? Nova smiled. Almost ready. They think I'm a mistake. But soon, they'll learn I'm the reason this academy still exists. She placed the chip back into her boot. Outside her door, footsteps stopped for a moment. Someone had been listening. But when Nova opened the door, no one was there. The glitch in the system. The next day, Nova walked through the academy like nothing had changed. But everything had. Whispers followed her. She beat Zane's team in the sim. Did you see her flying? Something's not right with that new girl. Nova kept her head down, calm, focused. But in her mind, a plan was moving fast. In the training hall, Zane stood with Elara and Bryn. He stared at Nova, fists clenched. She's hiding something, he hissed. I'm going to prove it. Elara crossed her arms. You already tried. Admin locked you out. Zane smirked. Then we'll go around them. Lunch hall. Trap set. Later, Nova sat alone at a corner table, her food untouched. Bryn approached her, fake smile in place. Hey, Nova. We were wondering, Want to join our team for the next tactical challenge? Nova looked up slowly. You sure? Bryn nodded. We could use someone with your talents. Nova scanned his body language. Too relaxed, eyes flicking around. A trap. Still, she smiled. All right. She stood and walked with him, knowing this was exactly what they wanted. Tactical challenge room. Inside, the lights were low. The challenge was a full 3D holographic world. Jungle setting. Enemies hidden. Objectives unknown. You ready? Zane asked, already inside the sim gear. Nova nodded and put on her headset. Seconds later, they dropped into the simulation. But something was wrong. All four were supposed to start together. Instead, Nova appeared alone in a dark forest. A robotic voice echoed. Simulation adjusted. Difficulty. Extreme. Cleo Count1. Nova frowned. They hacked the system. Suddenly, explosions hit around her. Automated drones flew from the trees. Laser traps lit up in red. She rolled, dodged, jumped, and spun behind cover. All right, she muttered. You want the truth? Outside the sim. Zane, Elara, and Bryn watched from the control booth. She's stuck in there, Elara whispered. We isolated her code. Zane grinned. Let's see how long she lasts now. Suddenly, alarms flashed on their console. EDAR. Yun AUT authorize EDACCSSDTCT'd. User NOVAOVER eliminate. What the? Zane stared at the screen. Inside the sim, Nova moved like lightning. She took down drones one by one, reprogramming a few midair. Then she stood in the center of the burning jungle and raised her arm. From her wrist device, a blue pulse burst out. All drones shut down. The simulation world froze. System breach. The sim room lights flickered. The Academy's AI voice rang out. Warn NT. System breach. High-level protocol activated. Security review in progress. Students outside stopped what they were doing. Everyone turned toward the tactical room. A voice whispered through the Academy halls. Omega Prime clearance. Who is she? Confrontation in the hall. Later that night, Nova walked back to her room. Quietly. Alone. But Zane was waiting for her. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, he growled. But this ends now. Nova raised an eyebrow. You're the one who changed the simulation. That's illegal. Zane stepped closer. You're not one of us. You're dangerous. Nova's face changed, calm, but fierce. You think I'm dangerous? She said softly. You've only seen a glimpse. She tapped her wrist device. A hologram of the Starcore Academy logo appeared, but under it was a seal no student had ever seen. Galactic Intelligence Division, Omega Prime Agent. Zane backed up. No way. Nova leaned forward. I was sent here to watch people like you. The mask comes off. Red lights flashed across Starcore Academy. The entire space station shook as alarms rang out. Students rushed through the halls, confused and panicked. External breach. All students report to designated safe zones. But Nova didn't move. She stood still in the center of the hallway, her eyes locked on the glowing alert in her wrist device. Zane looked at her in disbelief. What's going on? What do you mean Phase 3? Nova's voice was low and calm. The Academy is under attack, and they're not here for the students. Zane shook his head. This is a drill, right? It has to be. Nova turned to him slowly. No, this is real. Someone activated a silent beacon meant for emergencies only. Someone who thought they could push me too far. He stepped back, finally understanding the weight of what he had done. Command Center. Chaos. Inside the command center, officers scrambled across glowing consoles. Admiral Voss stared at the radar. Unknown ship just dropped from warp. No signal, no ID. It's cloaked in quantum shadow tech, an officer said. They shouldn't be able to get that close, Voss growled. Get me Director H's. Suddenly, a new figure appeared on the central screen. It was Nova. Only now, she was in full galactic agent gear, black and silver armor with glowing symbols. Her curls were gone, replaced by a glowing neural crown. This is Omega Agent Nova 7. Lock down the Academy. Initiate defense protocol. Sovereign Shield. Voss stood stunned. Agent Nova, we didn't know you were already deployed. Nova's voice was sharp. I was undercover, sir, but my cover's broken now. The enemy knows I'm here. Student safe zone. Suspicion and fear. In the safe zone, students murmured and panicked. Elara, Bryn, and others from Zane's group looked at each other. She's one of them, Bryn whispered. A galactic agent. All this time. No wonder she beat us, Elara muttered. She was trained for war. But why here? Why Starcore? Another student asked. Suddenly, the room's lights flickered, and Nova stepped inside, calm and commanding. Students backed away, unsure whether to cheer or run. Nova raised a hand. I'm not your enemy, but someone among us is working with the ones trying to destroy this academy. Gasps filled the room. What do you mean? A girl from the back asked. Nova walked slowly across the room. There's a traitor. One of the students gave them access codes, and they've let the enemy inside. Main hall. Hidden truths. Meanwhile, Zane walked the halls alone. His hands shook. He remembered the data crystal he had stolen from the archives during his prank on Nova. Just a joke? Or so he thought. But maybe it wasn't a joke. Maybe he had triggered something. He pulled the crystal out of his pocket. It now glowed red. Data leak detected. It blinked. Oh no, Zane whispered. This is my fault. Suddenly, shadows moved behind him. A figure stepped forward, a tall man in enemy armor, face hidden behind a black mask. You were useful, the figure said. Thanks for opening the door. Zane tried to run, but the man lifted a hand, and everything went black. Security tower. Final prep. Back in the tower, Nova entered the weapons chamber. Her cover was gone, and her role was clear. She suited up in full agent armor, her neural crown, syncing with the station's defense grid. The system scanned her. Nova 7, authority confirmed. Weapons unlocked. She grabbed 2 plasma pistols, a gravity blade, and a shield drone. Then she looked at the camera feed. Zane was missing. Enemy troops had already entered the halls. And worst of all, someone had hacked the internal shields. They're already inside. She tapped her wrist again. Activate lockdown. Prepare evacuation routes. Send one warning to all enemy frequencies. A robotic voice responded. Warning sent. No reply. Nova took a breath. Then it's war. The fight for Starcore. The metal hallway shook as the enemy soldiers burst through the broken wall. Nova didn't flinch. Her face was calm, her body still like steel. She pressed a button on her wrist. Her personal drone flew out of her back and activated a round energy shield in front of her. The enemy commander stepped forward, armor dark, eyes glowing red behind his mask. Agent Nova 7, he said in a deep voice. You should have stayed hidden. Now you'll fall with them. Nova didn't answer with words. She answered with fire. The battle begins. With one motion, she dove sideways, her pistols firing plasma rounds that lit up the hallway. The shield blocked incoming shots as her drone spun behind her, covering her blind spots. The enemy didn't expect her to move so fast. 2 soldiers went down in seconds. She rolled under another blast, slashed one attacker's leg with her gravity blade, and then flipped backward onto a ledge. Her eyes scanned for more. Too slow, she muttered. Behind her, reinforcements from the Academy's internal security arrived. Robots, drones, and even trained students in emergency gear. Defense line DLT, fall in, Nova shouted. They followed her without question. For the first time, the students saw who Nova really was. Not just a quiet new girl, but a galactic-level warrior. Zane wakes up. Elsewhere, Zane groaned as he opened his eyes. His head hurt. He was lying inside a dark storage chamber. The masked enemy commander's voice echoed through his mind. Thanks for opening the door. I messed everything up, Zane whispered. The red glowing crystal had caused it all was still in his hand. It had stopped blinking now, but the damage was done. Then he heard a voice. Zane? Zane, are you okay? It was Elara, crawling through a vent above. I think I helped the enemy by accident, he said, ashamed. Elara dropped down beside him. No time for guilt. Nova's holding the front line, and we owe her big. She held out a glowing staff. Come on. Time to make it right. Nova holds the line. Nova pushed forward with the defense team, taking ground inch by inch. Every time the enemy thought they had her surrounded, she moved like wind, fast, precise, impossible to stop. The students fought beside her now, no longer mocking her, but following her. Even Bryn, who once called her glitched blood, now covered her back with a drone turret. You were never just a student, huh? He said while firing at enemy troops. Nova nodded. No, but I never stopped learning. The hallway lit up with explosions. Enemy reinforcements began falling back. Nova pressed her wrist again. Command, this is Nova 7, Phase 4 complete, preparing to seal breach point. Inside the enemy ship. Far above Star Core, the enemy's warship hovered. Inside, the commander slammed his fist into a console. She wasn't supposed to fight back this hard. A cloaked figure beside him whispered, we underestimated her. She wasn't just guarding Star Core. She was testing us. The commander growled, pull back, but this isn't over. Send the last signal. The cloaked figure nodded. Yes, General. She'll know we're not done. Zane's redemption. Zane and Elara made it back to the tech lab. Inside, he placed the red crystal into the security console. Can we reverse the breach? Elara asked. Zane worked fast, his fingers shaking. I think so. Nova was right. This crystal wasn't just data, it was a key. If I reverse the signal, he pressed one final command. Suddenly, the Academy's shields turned blue. Across the station, lights powered back on. Doors sealed shut. Alarms went silent. Nova looked around. They closed the breach. She smiled. The enemy retreats. The enemy soldiers began disappearing in a red glow, beamed back to their ship. Nova aimed her blade at the retreating leader. You're lucky I'm letting you leave. The masked man laughed darkly. You won today, but war is coming, Nova 7. Then he vanished in light.